The ABC show now streamed on Hulu called Fresh Off the Boat shows Asian struggles in white-dominated communities, such as racial stereotypes, cultural appropriation, and the cinema image of Asian women, the Dragon Lady. In this TV show, they focus on a Taiwanese-American family who consider themselves Chinese. The family moves from their hometown in D.C. to Orlando, Florida in a white-dominated community. The mother, who is played by Kanzin Wu, plays Jessica Wong. Randall Park plays the father, Louis Wong. Hudson Yang plays the oldest son, Eddie Wong. Forrest Willow plays the middle child, Emma Young. Ian Chen plays the youngest son, Evan Wong. And Lucille Zhong plays the grandmother. In this show, the director Lynn Sheldon, with the help of Eddie Wong, the author of the book called Fresh Off the Boat, which the show is actually based off of, they include the racial stereotypes of Asians in cinema, such as kids being smart and also being in the chess club, or the mother being extra strict with the children about grades. This is seen in Season 1, Episode 2, called Home Sweet Homeschool, where the mother, named Jessica, gives all the kids extra homework in Chinese, where they all go to Chinese school after the actual school.
We're doing CLC.
But there aren't any in Orlando.
Well, there is now. Homeschool CLC. I will be your teacher.
This clip from the episode shows the racial stereotype of Asian mothers giving their children extra work in addition to schoolwork. However, Eddie, played by Houston Yang, doesn't follow this racial stereotype. Instead, he doesn't like school and doesn't want to be seen as a nerd. He wants to be more like his favorite rapper, Tupac, or he wants to be like his favorite basketball player, Shaq O'Neal. Due to this stereotype not being followed, the audience could realize if they have expected Eddie to act the same way as his brothers, who fall under this racial stereotype of being nerds or really smart nerds. And to some, it can show stereotyping some Asians. Fresh Off the Boat also brings to light the image of the Dragon Lady from after World War II in the cinema. The Western Washington University article called Asians and Asian American Representations in American Film by Laura Johnson gives information about the history of where a Dragon Lady image started from and why. It is stated in the article that Milton Caniff created these comic strips in 1934 that have the embodiment of a white society's fear of Asians and Asian Americans in society. One Hollywood actor that made the name quote-quote Dragon Lady popular was the first Chinese woman actor named Anna May Wong. Anna has been in many movies where she portrayed an evil villain. One movie that made the quote-quote Dragon Lady more recognized and popular was the movie Daughter of the Dragon Lady, made in 1931. Anna plays the murderer in this film, and due to this, the image of the Dragon Lady was then carried through into many more TV films and series that are now seen today, such as Fresh Off the Boat. In this show, Jessica Wong, played by Kristen Wu, has been portrayed as strict, bold, and controlling. This character could be seen as the Dragon Lady image. In the article called The Dragon Lady Has Landed, Tired Troops of Asian American Women in Fresh Off the Boat by Jaslyn Andrews, the author talks about how Jessica is, quote, deeming, emasculating, and scheming. She then goes on to say how this is the Dragon Lady image, and it enforces how all Asian women are sometimes seen. There are many examples of Jessica being known as the quote-quote Dragon Lady through many episodes and seasons. One episode where Jessica could be seen as the quote-quote Dragon Lady is in Season 3, Episode 3, called Jessica Judges Children's Halloween Costumes Competition. In this episode, she can be seen judging kids' costumes pretty harshly and even making one cry. By the showing of this episode, it can portray Jessica as evil or mean, which the Dragon Lady image is known for.
I love a couple's costume. Double the effort, double the score. 98.
What mighty big scores you have. 95.
Can I give out a negative number? A wolf should not have a human girlfriend. It brings up too many icky questions. 2 points, one for each of you. Next.
Thank you for not using profanity this time, but can you maybe ease up on the criticism? You made SpongeBob cry through his makeup.
Well, if he were a believable sponge, he'd be able to sop up his tears.
In this episode, the Wong family missed their flight to Washington, D.C. to visit their relatives for the celebration of Chinese New Year. Due to this, Louis and Jessica look up any Asians in the phone book to have a little Chinese New Year celebration together. But they come across the Asian American Association of Orlando, also known as the AAA. They're ecstatic, but once they get to the destination, they realize that almost no one in the party are actually Asian, but they are all white people. There are only 2 Asian people who are present in this party. In this episode, they also show white people that have Chinese lettering tattoos on their arms, but they have no clue what it actually means. One of the tattoos end up meaning toaster. They also show the cultural appropriation through the quote-quote dragon dance that the party puts on. But this dragon dance is someone dressing up in a school mascot that is a dragon, who comes out and dances on the dance floor with cheerleaders. This cultural appropriation is like the actual Chinese dragon dance that are actually held in Chinese New Year parties. But in the Chinese New Year parties, it is scare away any evil spirits that are around. And it is also believed that the dance is also represent power, strength, and some good luck. In the episode, the quote-quote dragon dance is seen as disrespectful and offensive. The rat on the pole, which they explain in the episode where they would drop the rat like they do in the USA New Year's Eve, where they count down until 1 and they drop the ball. But in this scenario, they used a rat. This shows the lack of understanding about Chinese New Year and the cultural appropriation that is also brought into the white-dominated communities. The people are shown to have no education on why it is the year of the rat. Every year for Chinese culture in Chinese New Year, they have different types of animals that represent each year. They have 12 in total, and they each rotate around depending on what year it is. Depending on what year it is, that animal is then celebrated. Due to this lack of information in the episode by the rat being on top of a pole, this then leads to the cultural appropriation.
Year of the rat glasses? There's also going to be an authentic dragon dance. And at midnight, Beijing time, we're going to drop the rat.
That's not a real thing.
See, this is what I was talking about. They're having a Chinese New Year's party, but nobody cares enough to get it right.
Y'all ready for this? Who's ready for a dragon dance?
Eddie even mentioned in the New York Times article called Saucy Dish by Gildish Jen. He also talked about the racism that is present in the U.S. and mentioned that, quote-quote, even the anti-model minority story of Wong flailing savagely away at racist America, mostly represented by Orlando, Florida. Fresh Off the Boat reveals the many issues that Asians and Asian Americans have to deal with in white-dominated communities, such as the cultural appropriation that they encounter, as well as sometimes being known as the quote-unquote dragon lady, as well as the stereotypes that come with being Asian sometimes. This helps to reveal to the audience about how Asians struggle by letting them see how the main characters in this TV show are struggling in a white-dominated community or how they are adapting to their new surroundings.